Love's for beginners, ain't no winners. It slips through your fingers, I ain't telling no lies. So F all the drama, F the karma. Just do what you wanna, promise you got time. Be you and keep looking forward. Don't you look backwards and you'll be fine. Come through and say what you need to. Don't let them put you down. Baby, let me tell you what it feels like. Being independent, no trouble inside. It's like magic, living like a bad bitch. 'Cause baby, you deserve the best in life. Let me tell you what it feels like. Being whose mama, yeah, to yourself right. It's like magic, living like a bad bitch. 'Cause baby, you deserve the best in life. Come get your future, know you wanna. She'll never betray ya, she ain't telling no lies. So break the glass ceiling, find your meaning, make truth out of dreaming, yeah. Baby, let me tell you what it feels like. Being independent, no trouble inside. It's like magic, living like a bad bitch. 'Cause baby, you deserve the best in life. Let me tell you what it feels like. Being whose mama, yeah, to yourself right. It's like magic, living like a bad bitch. 'Cause baby, you deserve the best in life. Be you and keep looking forward. Don't you look backwards and you'll be fine. Come through and say what you need to. Don't let them put you down. Baby, let me tell you what it feels like. Being independent, no trouble inside. It's like magic, living like a bad bitch. 'Cause baby, you deserve the best in life. Let me tell you what it feels like. Being whose mama, yeah, to yourself right. It's like magic, living like a bad bitch. 'Cause baby, you deserve the best in life.
And we've got some breaking news on that book by Prince Harry, Spare, as it's called. It is the UK's fastest selling non-fiction book on record, we are hearing. And it's sold figures of 400,000 copies so far. That's across hardback, ebook, audio formats. On its first day of publication, 400,000 copies have been sold. The Transworld Penguin Random House, the publisher, said, quote, "We always knew this book would fly, but it is exceeding even our most bullish expectations. As far as we know, the only books to have sold more in their first day are those starring the other Harry, i.e. Harry Potter. But according to the latest data we have, it is the fastest UK selling non-fiction book on record. And Harry was paid $20 million for that book, we are told. So the publishers are getting a bit of their money back already.
And we're probably on 2 or 3 million at this point. Haven't seen the latest figures, but my guesses are that by the end of the year, I believe Spare would have sold about 10 to 15 million copies by the end of the year. That's my guess. You're free to put your guesses in the comment section as well. And welcome to the Sunday chat, everyone. Hope you are all doing lovely. Monday tomorrow. Hope you all have a great week. And should I take some call-ins today? I might take 2 or 3 later on. But don't forget to hit that thumbs up button, everyone, and subscribe. Thank you so much, actually, for reminding everyone, as you always do. Very much appreciated. So how's everyone feeling today? How far are we into Spare? How far are we? I'm still not as far as I wanted to be, but I'm getting there slowly, slowly. Black Queen, I have 47 pages to go in the book for Harry Potter. Yeah. I keep seeing little nuggets pop up on my feed, and I'm like, this is how you know that the press are being so selective, is that there's a lot that they're not actually reporting about in this book. And to think that they actually got the version in Spanish, had the whole thing translated, and they've missed out so much. They're being very selective and very sneaky, but oh well, it's what we've come to expect, haven't we? He said, Charlie, how's flooding in California? Have you heard anything about what's happening in Montecito? Yeah, does anybody have an update on the floods? What's up with that? I mean, I'm sure everyone's okay. They had an evacuation order, but there's going to be a lot of damage, unfortunately. And you've almost finished the book. Good for you. Sonny, you said you received a glamorous gift basket. I would now try the truffled popcorn. Well, let us know how the truffled popcorn tastes. Look at me. What do you mean? uh, Look at me. What? Look at me starting on time? Is that what you meant? I know, it's amazing, finally. Oh, by the way, these pictures of Megan, she's not wearing makeup. She's completely barefaced. This is why the girlies are all mad. Welcome, everyone, if you're just coming in. All right, let me scroll all the way to the bottom. Oh my goodness, were you all, who was in Petal's chat the other day when that crazy doolala woman rang in? I was like, what on earth is this? She claimed that she was a Spencer and that she was related to Winston Churchill and that she had this important information that she was trying to get to Harry and Meghan. I mean, she was just crazy. Petal handled it very well. Like, she was like very composed. She was incredibly graceful. If it was me, the way I would have cussed out that trial. Petal, you are the nicest person ever. Because I would have just cussed her out for real. Like, there was definitely something wrong with that woman. Um, this is the type of person who claims that they are truly like the true heir to the monarchy. Like, you have those types. But yeah, that was wild. Thank you so much, Chef Sandy Love. Much appreciated. Wish you a wonderful week. Yes, Cinderella, they actually admitted it. I mean, the guy was putting on his glasses and everything. Like, wow, I can't believe it. What's there not to believe? Valerie, apparently in libraries in New York, you have to wait a year for Spare. Yeah, I've been seeing there's a lot of people um saying that they're having to wait a long time or that they're like 300th in the line or something. There have been a couple of people on Twitter though. If you're a squaddy and you're struggling to buy the book, there are a couple of people who are actually offering to buy the book for squaddies. So do go and check out Twitter. Amigo, you're finished. Amazing. Oh, I see a lot of you done. Very short. at the revelations, aren't we all? He has chosen to be his, so selected on purpose. People in England are angry for the release of Spare for no reason, if you ask me, especially Piers Morgan. Well, of course. He's just mad that he wasn't mentioned by name. The only time that Harry and Meghan are going to acknowledge that man is in court via their lawyers. They will give him dust. Usually some of them don't like to be told the truth of who they are. Do you know what? The other day, one of the government ministers said that NHS workers need to work harder. Nobody wants to take care of sick and dying patients anymore. Nobody wants to work anymore, Kim Kardashian voice. And then 2 days later, that's when Kate and William show up at an NHS hospital. And you have the whole hospital, all of the staff, clapping like sea lions at two royals who literally just showed up to that hospital to smile and wave at them.
I'm sorry we can only come and give words and comfort, but we are thinking about you the whole time and we really care about what's going on. So
sometimes that's more than financial.
Well, if we can give you the odd smile here and there, that's important. So, you know.
I feel like we have to just eventually accept that there are some people in the UK, I'm telling you, it's like they like their suffering. They like their suffering, they don't want any better, they don't want to fight for any better. They see their glory and their worth literally through this corrupt, dysfunctional family. For whatever reason, this right here, this is what makes them incredibly proud. And as long as they have this, they don't care. They don't care if they're having to line up at food banks. And I'm speaking to the portion of like royalist monarchists. Obviously, it's not everyone, but they don't care. And I think eventually, guys and dolls, we're just gonna have to leave them. This is what they want. They don't mind a smile and wave here and there. And as far as they're concerned, Harry has rejected them. You know, there's a very clear divide between, I think, those of us who are fans of Harry and Meghan, and in them we see modernity, we see innovation, we see creativity, we see progress, we see community, we see people who are lucky enough to be in the position that they are actually giving back as you should. And all of that is just everything that royalists seem to hate. They absolutely just worship these people who have put themselves at the top of the social ladder. And for whatever reason, it's like they feel that they're part of something, that they're part of this institution, when actually they're just paying for it. But there's a whole psychology behind this, a whole psychology of, you know, mass formation of populations, you know, following leadership. But it's interesting that when it comes to the UK and the monarchy, that is often not scrutinized as much as maybe other countries, like, say, North Korea. But I guess that's the whole other podcast we can do on the psychology of monarchies. Right, let's get into it then. Okay, first thing. Oh, yes. Okay, first part of the podcast, the Daily Fail being the Daily Fail. Oh gosh, where was the screen print now? Right. This. This is a headline about Britney. Distressing moment: Britney Spears has a manic meltdown at a restaurant in LA after customers begin taking photos of her. The fact that they are still using language like manic meltdown, this pathologization of Britney, that at this point, I thought that we would stop. Everybody knows what this woman has been through. Everybody knows what the press put this woman through. Particularly the Daily. Well, do you know what? I would actually not even say the Daily Fail. Back in the day, it was actually TMZ. The likes of TMZ and X17, who harassed this woman, those LA paparazzi, and you're still using this type of language. Like, people were taking pictures of her when she's trying to eat. It's not a manic meltdown. It's a reaction to people getting her in her business and in her face while she's just trying to eat. And these type of headlines and this dehumanization of celebrities, dehumanization of female celebrities, it just seeps into the psyche of Daily Fail readers, who I actually think have gotten more and more and more toxic over the years. Because there was a time when I actually did read the Daily Fail, and it was, in reflection, it was still very skeezy. But I have to say, like, maybe 5 or 6 years ago, it wasn't as bad as this, what you're going to see now. So this was a young lady she's an online influencer chef, and she did this very harmless, completely harmless video on roasting potatoes. And look at some of the responses from Daily Fail readers. She might want to steer away from the potatoes and head for the salads, just saying. A chubster cannot be and is not a good chef. Until she fixes her unhealthy eating habits, she has no right to consider herself a good chef. Terrible skin for a 26-year-old. Too much sun. Go back to washing pots, woman. Pretending to be a chef is not your role in life. Silly girl should do as she is told. If she stood in front of me with no clothes on, she wouldn't convince me to do roasties like that. She can come around mine and warm up my potatoes. They don't look very good. She eats like an animal. I mean, this is literally an article about a woman cooking potatoes. What on earth? And this thread of tweets, I actually got this from M. Clarkson, Jeremy Clarkson's daughter. I actually got this from her stories. This is where I first saw this. And she's been posting a lot about the Daily Fail and the culture of the tabloids ever since she clapped back at Richard Edom. And it just shows you like the level of vitriol. I think when we're done talking about the racism and misogyny that was directed at Meghan and the wider implications of what the press does, I think one of the next conversations we need to have is about the level of self-loathing in the UK and how the press also reinforces that. And it's not just celebrities or influencers or public figures that these tabloids go after. It's the ordinary person as well. There are many, many, many cases like this. This is a case of Danielle Hindley versus the Mail on Sunday. So the Daily Fail posted a defamatory story about her. It was false, and they knew it was false, but they still dragged her through the court. They still dragged her through the court instead of just admitting it and, giving her whatever money she wanted for what they did to her. So please don't let anybody fool you into thinking that, oh, Harry's just throwing a tantrum. Harry's just being a privileged prince. Harry's just a celebrity who doesn't want any criticism. They do this to normal, everyday people. There are hundreds of stories like this. And people like Danielle don't have the money, the power, the status to go up against the tabloids. Also in the Daily Fail, Sarah Niggling Feeling No Neck Vine, still salty from her divorce to Michael Gove. Here she is again, asking where's Meghan? Meghan can't win. She's seen with Harry, her husband. She's being clingy. She's not seen is where's Meghan? Like, Sarah Vine, are you not embarrassed? This is very embarrassing. The saltiness in this article is just unreal. One thing really struck me about Prince Harry's media blitz last week. Not so much the careless inaccuracies in his various accounts of events, so she'd read the book, or just the headlines about the book. From the death of the Queen Mother to recollections of his first date with Meghan, nor even his petulance bordering on naked aggression towards the few hand-picked journalists enlisted to help sell his narrative whenever any of them dared ask him about anything, even vaguely approximating a searching question. No, the real question in my mind is this: where was Meghan? Rent-free. The way Meghan lives rent-free in the minds of people who claim to hate her. Sad, truly sad. She goes on to say, normally she never leaves Harry's side. These people are so salty that Meghan is Harry's wife. Normally, she's practically surgically grafted to him, hanging off him like an extra appendage. Wherever he goes, she goes. Imagine, husband and wife going places together. Something she never did with Michael Gove, I guess. That's weird to her. Him scowling darkly at anyone who ventures within 10 feet of them. She with that fixed smile of hers firmly in place. Because, what, you want her to be miserable? There is nothing about this that is journalism. This is truly a pirate with a press card, and these people just continue to prove Harry's point. There's an article, I'm not going to read it. There's an article about the coronation and whether or not there will be reconciliation before the coronation, which is in the Times, and it's written by Roy Anika, the one that wrote that infamous The Other Brother article, where William was on the cover looking like, you know, one of the space commanders from Star Trek. And the whole article is basically just so-called sources from the palace, sources from friends. And it's like they have no shame. This is exactly what Harry has called out in his book and on the press tour. And it's still the same. Sources said, palace sources said. Well, who are the palace sources? The palace sources are the palace. So I don't know if it's because they've realised, and again, going back to those NHS workers that showed up clapping like sea lions for William and Kate, that perhaps royalists don't actually care, or maybe don't even believe what Harry's saying. I don't know what it is. But they keep posting these articles, and, you know, someone's got to be reading this. Someone's got to believe it. Anyway, let me go to your comments before I continue. Oh, here's Uncle Gary. The Middletons pulled out Uncle Gary. Every single time the Middletons get scared, Uncle Gary comes out. He said this week, Harry, behave like a military man you were, and stop this handbags at dawn nonsense. The man who was caught selling drugs, beating his wife, and peeing by the street, telling Harry to act like a military man. Okay, let me not torture you with that picture while I go to the comments. Welcome to the chat. If you just come in, everyone, hit that thumbs up button and subscribe, please. Mad World. I keep reminding myself everything Harry went through set him up to meet Meghan. Yes. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Not just for Meghan, but also for himself. Cinderella looks scary without makeup. I'm sure you look absolutely fine. Joe blogs. They'll probably blame it on the translation. I was halfway through the Kindle version when they then put it down and bought the audio so I could hear it narrated halfway through. It's actually very nice hearing it narrated and having it in your hand as well. Yes, Meghan is gorgeous without makeup. Absolutely gorgeous. You lot are talking about the woman that was in Petal's chat. Yeah, absolutely. Crazy. And do you think it might have been Angela? It didn't sound like her. I mean, she claimed that she was a Spencer, but she didn't even sound British to me. Noreen, especially when she said I spoke to Harry on WhatsApp. Do you think it's the same person that called into LBC and said that I spoke to Harry on WhatsApp? Gosh. Shirley, when Princess Meghan writes her book, it's going to be awesome. Yeah. I wonder if her book is next. I don't know. Do you think it's time for Meghan to write a book? I mean, I'm sure she's writing one. I'd be very surprised if she isn't. But do you think it's time for her to release it? Do you think it's time for her to release it at this moment in time? Claudia Sims, not seeing in bookshop here. Maybe go to one of the larger bookstores. Is it a smaller bookstore? Maybe that's why you're not seeing it. Yeah, Valerie Serabine is mad. No, I don't actually think she's mad. I think she's just very, very miserable. I mean, she's divorcing one of the most well-known political figures in our country. That's going to be a punch to your ego, especially when you put yourself in such a pedestal that she did. Ruth Lopez, stalkers believe they have a relationship with people they're stalking. Yes. Levy Hemmings, university banned us from reading it. I believe that they've also I don't know so much about reading it, but I do know that some universities have banned you from using it as a reference. Isn't surprising because it's just not accurate. Oh, thank you so much, Emmy Girl. It was alarming how the people in the UK in that supermarket treated Meghan. It was incredibly horrific. In a supermarket? Could you clarify what you mean by that, Emmy Girl? I don't remember any incident in the supermarket. I remember there was that really rude lady at the walkabout. I don't remember anything about supermarket. Please clarify. Yes, Juliet, and Peter runs free. You're not talking about Sarah Vine. I mean, I just pity her at this point. She's like a caricature of that very angry British royalist that just can't get over it and can't stop obsessing over Meghan. It's so creepy. Yeah, they're also mad that Meghan just didn't settle. She wasn't going to wait for 10 years. She wasn't going to be 50% of herself. She wasn't going to be a mute woman. Black Queen, is there something in the British water system? Yes, apparently an increase in polio and sewerage. There literally is. I'm not kidding. Google it. H night the next day they'll be rolling out scamming sperm donor. Isn't Thomas Markle Jr. doing a documentary with DB News? Don't know what they're going to talk about. Oh, thank you so much, Alan Vernon, for the super sticker. Much appreciated. Always so wonderfully generous. Thank you. Just to be his, although Harry really loves and adores Meghan, I always felt that Meghan was his escape route to get out of the UK. I really felt and still feel sad for Harry. Yeah. Because let's be honest, could Harry have done what he's done now with a prim and proper, trained to be mute aristo girl with no ambition, with no, without a strong circle of friends, celebrity friends at that? I mean, Meghan was very well connected. And so her connections, her prior success, her money, her reputation, spotless. She had everything that you would need to partner with to build what they're building. She was just perfect in every single way. And thank goodness she was able to see past the bad lighting in Nottingham Cottage and just see really what a good person Harry is, right? Like, yeah, I'm out here in the ghetto and he's meant to be a prince, but he's a good person. And if we can get out of this together, we can be the most phenomenal team. And I think that's what Meghan saw. She saw his kindness, his compassion, his potential for greatness if he's outside of this institution. And thank goodness that love won and they found each other, right? It's like Diana just reached her hand down, plucked Meghan out from all the women that were, trying to get him, and she gave her son this perfect woman. It's like destiny. And I honestly believe that Diana was messing with the stars and they just found each other. And there's actually I haven't gotten to this part of the book, but I've been listening to the bits and pieces on social media where he actually describes first seeing Meghan, first meeting. Like, it's just so romantic and sweet the way he describes first seeing her. Anne Marie, Meghan has her journal, which would truly blow the royals out of the water, indeed. And there's a part in the book actually where Harry says that he's got all the texts from, talking to William and talking about possibly getting therapy. So they've got everything. Bone Mighty, not yet. Wait for Harry to calm down, then Meghan can drop hers when they least expect it. Do you know when I actually think like it would be great to see Meghan's biography? Like, the perfect time I feel like would be after the upcoming lawsuits that they've got, when they win the lawsuits, and I believe that they will, and then Meghan drops it then. Like if I was the PR person, that's what I would be advising. I think the timing would be perfect. All right, let me just scroll down and we can get to the next part of the podcast. I don't want to miss anyone. Oh, there was someone. Oh, yes. J Matt, thank you so much for the super sticker. Much appreciated. Thank you. And also, Kathy G, I can see that you have been a member for 12 months. Wow, a whole year. Thank you, Kathy G. You said, thank you for being you, like Raft in the Storm. Oh, no, thank you all for being yourselves. I can't believe that we are actually here. I mean, I have done a podcast almost every single day. Like, what, a year and a bit? I wasn't on yesterday because I was just too tired. I think I drank too much wine. Too much red wine. H Night. If Harry was with an arrested guy, he would still be under that system in the UK. And you know what? I have to say though, the bits and pieces I've seen flying around, shout out to Cressida and his other ex, who were obviously very loving and very loyal. It's just the institution and the press that ruined those relationships, and they just weren't meant to be. Meghan is what was meant to be. All right, now that I've gotten to the bottom of your comments, we can go to the next thing. Next thing was, where is that now? Oh yes, the lady who did the Telegraph interview, she has been being harassed. No surprises there, but she did this on her stories. Okay, I'm gonna read it. She says, I've switched comments off on my Instagram, not to stifle free speech, but because I do not fancy spending my weekend being shouted at by people. I get to make that choice. There are so many places on social media where you can go and shout at people in the royal family, but really, why would you bother when it's Saturday and there are a million better things to do? Honey, they have nothing else to do. I genuinely have so much respect for the people who quietly unfollow and get on with their lives rather than jumping on all my other posts and making snarky comments. I am absolutely fine with you not liking me, my opinions, my work. I am not for everyone, and nor would I want to be, but why not put your energy into people who are for you? It's so much less exhausting for everyone involved. She then said in a second post, also, I'm referring to rude, harassing comments, obviously, not people disagreeing with me or the person I interviewed, which I have no problem with. Unfortunately, I have to turn them off because I'm too exhausted right now to deal with the horrid ones calling me a pig, fat, unreliable ish journalist, etc. Anyway, 99.99% of people are lovely and decent. It's that 0.1% who ruin it for everybody else. Have a lovely weekend all. And none of the not journalists, pirates of pest card rodents with pens and laptops get this type of harassment because they just say negative things. I thought that the interview that they did was very well written. It was really enjoyable to read. I thought it was fair. It wasn't snarky like the cut interview. She didn't come across as jealous. And they just don't like anything that paints Harry and Meghan in a positive light. And I just think you've had 6 years of negativity. 6 years. We can't have one nice thing, one nice interview. All you want is negativity. Mad. Lorna, it's cold and damp. I'm having coffee here. Kulua. Is it good coffee? I'm so sorry that it's cold and damp. Sending you warm thoughts. Harry didn't like Aristo girls. Yeah, and actually his exes weren't Aristo girls. Chelsea and the other one, I forget her name, sorry. They were both very highly educated and very intelligent girls. Okay, so other thing that I wanted to mention, I didn't have a whole lot to say today. Yeah, that was pretty much it actually. I didn't have a whole lot to say other than oh yes. Harry talked about his peen. So I just wanted to clear this up. People keep saying, why is Harry talking about his peen? His oscillating peen, which is how he describes it. I mean, if the peen isn't oscillating, do you want the peen at all? And I just think this is my theory. Actually, no, this is not my theory. This is what someone else wrote. One of you wrote, actually. One of the subscribers, find it so I can read it out. Oh yeah, so this is actually from Grad Naimi. She left this comment on the Friday calls video. And they said, Harry has also left nothing for the media or family with which to manipulate, blackmail, or intimidate him with. I really believe it's one of the reasons he went all the way. Love the gentleman. Yes. Because there's absolutely nothing that they can hang over him, make fun of, make a headline. And you know what? It's just kind of funny. It's kind of funny to see. I feel like some people are just not seeing the humor in it. I think it's funny to see a royal just really making fun of themselves. Oh, thank you so much to Hate Night, Hate Night, for being a silver squaddy for 2 months. Much appreciated. Thank you. Yeah, I feel like some people just they don't want to see the humor in it. Okay? Just lighten up, y'all. You've had 6 years of hate. We can all have a little joke about Harry's oscillating penis because he's joking about it. Apparently, the company Elizabeth Arden, who sells the cream, they had a 1-hour segment on QVC. I've actually used that Elizabeth Arden 8-hour cream. I actually don't think it's all that, to be honest. I found it way too thick and it had a funny smell. But apparently it worked for Harry, so good for him. And his oscillator. Right, that's all. I'm just going to end with your comments, folks. And then we'll call it a day. Thank you as always. These people just need to turn their comment sections off when they post about Harry and Meghan. Yeah, but it's it's just annoying that they even have to do that. I think we need to find a way of dealing with these trolls because they cannot make genuine critiques without being insanely nasty. Yes, Adrian. Harry said he had the list, and Meghan was the whole list. Joe blogs. I can imagine those young ladies putting Kate in her place, and Will's getting intense with rage. Apparently, there was an article that came out that was written by who was it? It was one of the royal rodents. I think it might have been Katie Nichol who wrote an article where she said that Kate had offered one of the girls, it was either Chelsea or Cressida, to go shopping. And I don't know what they would have bought other than coat dresses. But the girl basically said no. And Kate got very salty about it. And this is very much in line with the behavior with Meghan. She thought that Meghan wanted her fashion contacts. Like, are you serious? Like, when you compare how Catherine used to dress before Meghan came on the scene, and then she started copying everything that Meghan was wearing, why would Meghan need fashion contacts from you? Girl, please. This is why she didn't want to share her lip gloss. H Knight, I heard Kate got pushback on her statement she made about therapy. Yes. I can imagine there were quite a number of people in the field who said absolutely not. It's not, do you know, it's not that what she said was actually like entirely wrong. Yes, it's true. Talking therapy doesn't necessarily work for everyone. It's just a fact. It's a timing. The fact that this comes after Harry talking about his mental health struggles, the fact that this is a family where you've had Meghan talk about her suicidal ideations and they didn't get her help. And the fact that there is clearly something wrong with both William and Kate, and you would sit there and say talking therapies aren't for everyone, because really, who needs help at this point more than you? There's clearly a lot of problems in this family, and I sincerely hope they all do get help before somebody seriously gets hurt, or rather hurt again, because you had Harry landing on a dog bowl and damn near breaking his back. These people are like a pressure cooker, just waiting to explode. They need help. So for them to sit here and say, "Oh, therapy doesn't work for everyone," well, it seems like you don't even want to get help anyway. And one of the things that we're trying to, one of the attitudes that we're trying to break down when it comes to mental health is this whole idea of just keep calm and carry on, put on a smile and carry on. We're trying to dismantle that, and they are the living, breathing embodiment of that toxic behavior, toxic to the self and everyone around you. Right. Right? God save the Peen. Oh God. The royal jewels were in jeopardy. Well, we know they're fine because he got Meghan pregnant 3 times. Cat Harlem, if anyone is looking for a great recap of Spare, please watch Sharian Shay. She does a great job. Yes, she does. She makes really good videos. Fancy, thank you so much for the super sticker. Much appreciated. Oh, hello, Joseph. The text thread with Baby Brain was a warning that our faves have receipts to back up their claims. So the firm better be careful what they try and lie about. Yes. And have you noticed, Joseph, that they have not actually denied anything? They're throwing a tantrum, but they haven't denied anything. Very telling. All right, who's going to get the last word of the day? Yeah, Amy girl, talking therapy works for everyone, but some people need other treatments along with it. Okay, that's a fair enough perspective. But it does also depend on the therapist, though. Like some therapists are just bad, or they're not necessarily matched for you. Like, I had to go to 2 or 3 therapists before I found one that actually was suited for my needs. Yes, Mad World. I think that would have been a better way to actually word it. Instead of saying it doesn't work for everyone, say keep searching until you find the right fit for you and the therapist. Yes, and also um make sure that you're in the right headspace to go to therapy, because you do have to bring up a lot of, traumatizing things, and not everybody is necessarily in that place where they're ready. So also make sure that you yourself are ready. Hi, Lauren Brown. They always knock it before they try it. Watch William and Kate get therapy in the next few years just to copy Harry and Meghan and find out they have been the problem. Do you think that will happen? Because to get therapy, I mean, in their case, the first thing that they would have to actually acknowledge that they've done something wrong, or that there's something wrong with them. That's the first step. And I don't know if they would be able to humble themselves enough to do that. Like I said, look, I sincerely hope that they do get help, because they clearly need it. They really do. For the sake of themselves, for the sake of their children. Yeah, I really don't wish bad on anyone, but there needs to be accountability for what they did to Meghan, and the way in which that played out on the world stage, and how it's hurt other people. And Harry actually said that in his Good Morning America interview. They're chosen to be here. They sure as hell have not denied anything. Naughty Doctor, me, the last word. Yes, you're going to get the last word, the last word. Thank you so much, Naughty Doctor. Thank you, everyone, as always. And I will see you tomorrow, okay? Have a lovely evening, everyone. Ciao. And and thank you to the mods, as always. You've been fantastic this week. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Love's for beginners, ain't no winners. It slips through your fingers. I ain't telling no lies. So F all the drama, F the karma. Just do what you wanna. Promise you got time. Be you and keep looking forward. Don't you look backwards and you'll be fine. Come through and say what you need to. Don't let them put you down. Baby, let me tell you what it feels like. Being independent, no trouble inside. It's like magic, living like a bad bitch. 'Cause baby, you deserve the best in life. Let me tell you what it feels like. Being who's mama, yeah, treat yourself right. It's like magic, living like a bad bitch. 'Cause baby, you deserve the best in life. Come get your future. Know you wanna, she'll never betray ya. She ain't telling no lies. So break the glass ceiling, find your meaning, make truth out of dreaming.